In this video, we take a look at 5 items for making music without a computer. Find out which ones those are coming up. Thanks for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. Now let's get into the video.
First up, we have the Korg Vocal series. This is a series of different boxes that do different functions. Like this one right here is an FM synthesizer. You also have a drum machine, a more keyboard-oriented one, a sample-based machine, a bass-driven one. Each of these are pretty affordable, around $160 each or less. I would say grab yourself a couple of these and you're pretty much good to go. Very easy to sync all of these guys together. Just takes one single syncing cable. They have MIDI function as well. So you're able to get so much function out of such a little box. Plus they're all battery powered. And if you don't have like speakers hooked up, there's an internal speaker. It's kind of small, but I mean, if you're on the go and you don't have headphones or anything, you can at least make music. So the Vocal is a great option. I would say grab at least 2 or 3 of these guys and you have pretty much a full kit. I'm really looking to get this Vocal FM. The sounds are amazing. Very similar to the Juno as far as the kind of sounds you can create in it. Awesome piece of kit. Next up, we have the RTO Microbrew. This guy is a beast. Synthesizer, analog, 100% analog signal path. This thing can make some monster sounds. If you haven't gotten into synthesis yet, or specifically subtractive synthesis, this is a great place to start. Has a full ADSR and filter and LFO and this thing called brute mode, which just makes everything sound a little more crushed and a little more aggressive. Great piece of kit. Awesome synth. It's a great place to start if you haven't gotten into synthesis before. Simply for the fact that there aren't like shift functions. Each knob and each button does one function, so it's easy to understand and easy to learn synthesis from the beginning. If I was to get a brand new synthesizer and it would be my first synthesizer, this is probably the one that I would go to. Not that expensive, still under $300. Great functions. You can create some great sounds out of it and easy to use. Next up, we have the Roland TBO3. This is a full recreation of the legendary TB303 bassline synth from the 80s. If you've listened to any techno ever made, or basically any electronic music, this right here is kind of the grandfather of it all. The kind of basses that you get out of this are just so fat and just so distinct. Nothing sounds like a 303. I mean, there have been machine after machine and synth and VST after VST that have tried to recreate it. And this recreation from Roland is probably one of the best, if not the best, that has ever come out. And plus the price, it's under $350, whereas an actual 303 from the 80s will run you up clear over 4, maybe 5 digits, depending on the condition. This part of the boutique line, so the controls are a little small, but you still get all the functionality, and you actually get more functionality than you get out of the original TB303. So if you're looking for that driving techno bass line, this is the one to go for. Here we have another piece of Korg kit. This is the Korgelectribe Sampler. I love my Electribe. This one actually came out a few months after it. If I could go back, I would probably pick this one up instead, just because this adds the ability to be able to sample into it. Not necessarily the kind of functionality and flexibility you get out of, like, say, an MPC or a 404, but this right here, you can sample into it, sample kicks, sample drums, sample loops, and on top of that, you do get some synthesis as well. Not the level of synthesis that you get on the regular Korgelectribe, but instead of the synthesis, you do get the added function of sampling and bringing in samples, which opens up a huge door where you can bring in samples of whatever synthesizer you're looking for and pretty much recreate them. So this is a great piece of kit. It's also battery powered as well, so you could just take this on the road with you, plug in your headphones, and you're good to go. If you're traveling and you still want to make some music, I love this thing. My Electribe has been my go-to if I just have 15, maybe 20 minutes to work on a beat if I'm just feeling that itch. And the sampler works nearly identical to that, just with the additional sampler functionality. So if you're looking for something to not only house your drums, but also as a sequencer as well, you can plug all your gear into this via MIDI, and you're good to go. This is a great hub, great place to like start your beats, and I definitely stand by this product. Finally, we have one more piece of gear. This was kind of out of left field for Korg this year. They released the Korg Minilog. This is a 4-voice analog synthesizer. You get 4-voice polyphony, true analog. Has over 200 presets, or I'm sorry, 200 presets, and you get a step sequencer on it as well. I've heard that this thing can create some monster sounds. I haven't heard anybody complain about this at all. The one complaint I have with this is the keybed. It's more like the keybed you find on the MS-20 Mini that they came out with. So if you're looking for full-size keys, this might not be for you. But if you're okay with mini keys, this thing is great. You can create all sorts of sounds, fully analog, great build quality, and just a great piece of kit to add to your non-computer connected home studio.
So that's 5 pieces of gear that you can use to make music without a computer. If you're interested in purchasing any of those, links can be found down in the description below. And question of the day, which piece of gear are you most interested in out of that list? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below as well. And as always, if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And thank you for watching PDot TV, where you find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. See you next time.